It's awesome to see you as well. I'm super excited to be here. This is one of my favorite things to talk about is, how to say no, right? Obviously, I said yes to you for being on the summit. So I'm incredibly grateful for to be here. And I'm glad I'm here early because I am on early. So how exciting. So let me go ahead and get started, and I'm going to keep track of time. I always believe that, time is our most valuable asset. So you may find that, during my presentation, you may get the gift of time back. I like to make my presentations interactive. So if at all possible, like if you have anything that is coming up for you or you want to put into the chat, I know Colleen is monitoring the chat. I've got an eye on it as well, and that I'm able to answer the questions because I want to value you for showing up today and taking the time to be here to learn about all the amazing information that is being presented on this summit. So how do we say no, right? Like, and still be considered a team player? That's really an important concept because I think for most of us as entrepreneurs, for human beings, saying no is one of the hardest things that we can do because it really does seem to have an impact on the fact of how we are looked at. People don't often want to say no for fear of what it makes them seem like, feel like, whatever it is. See, because being an overachiever isn't a bad thing unless you're guilty of constantly overcommitting. So let me just share a quick story about myself and how I overcommitted once and how it really impacted me. Is there anybody out there that really does struggle sometimes with saying the word no? Back about, I would say this was 6 years ago, I was saying yes to everything, and I'm an entrepreneur. I run my own business and I like to give back. And when I do anything, it's really truly about giving 120%. So if I decide to join a networking group, I'm seeing how I can give more, how I can be in a leadership role, how I can make a difference in that event, in that community, whatever it may look like. Well, back about 6 years ago, I had been saying yes to so much in my life that when it came time to attending an important event back in Wisconsin, where I'm from, where my sister-in-law was having a surprise birthday party, and my brother called me to ask me if I was going to be there, my response was no, because of all the overcommitment that I found myself deep in. And it was in that moment that I took a step back because I heard the disappointment in my brother's voice that I wasn't going to be there with family. See, for me, family is one of the most important things that I have as a value, like spending time with those that I love, because I'm very clear that people don't want more things. They want our time and they want to experience life with us. So in that moment, I literally did the only thing I knew how to do was I curled up in a ball and I cried. And I cried hard because I was saying no to something that I wanted to be saying yes to. And it was in that moment that I really started taking a look at everything that I had been saying yes to and realizing that it was no longer serving me, that I was overcommitting, that I was a people pleaser, that I was doing things just out of a sense of expectation rather than choosing what I really wanted to do. And so in that moment, I started making phone calls and removing myself from things that I had committed to. In that moment, it didn't feel very good, but it also taught me an important lesson, which I'm going to share some tips with you today of really how to determine when to say no and when to say yes. And to that improves your self-esteem, shows that you're a team player, but more importantly, preserves your sanity. Because again, not a very great feeling to have to withdraw from a lot of things. People understood. And the silver lining is that I did go to that birthday party, and the look on my sister-in-law's face is a memory that I will always have for the rest of my life because of her excitement that I was there as a surprise. She was surprised by the party, but to see me in the audience, because I've always said, I'm too busy. And so I want to take that busy off of your plate and really give you some tips today on how to go ahead and be able to say no effectively without it chipping away at your self-esteem and being a team player. So one of the things that you can do is that when somebody asks you to, be part of a project or to do something, it's really important that you say, if it's not an immediate yes, or you're not sure what kind of time it's going to take, the easiest thing you can say is, let me get back to you on that. Or can I have 24 hours to make a decision? And then take that time to really examine how that's going to impact you. Really think about all the time commitments. See, because it's really hard for us to always kind of discern whether or not saying yes to something is going to move us forward in our business. Listen to your gut. Your gut is there to support you. Your intuition is there to support you. I mean, if it's an immediate no, it's an immediate no. And I will give you ways and things that you can say to help you be better at saying no without the guilt. Because I think that that really is a big component of everything that we're talking about, is that people don't want to feel guilty. So when somebody catches you off guard, just ask for that 24 hours, or ask for, let me get back to you on that, but then get back to them. And if it's a no, it's a no. Second way that you can do this, if you're taking any notes, is I'm not available until X, and then give them a date. If you know your calendar, or if you're at work, know when you're available, when those projects are off your plate, that you can go ahead and then work it into a new time frame. See, it's all about making yourself a priority, and what you already have on your plate is your priority. It really, truly is. So you might be interested in that project, but it just doesn't fit in right now. And it may fit in later on down the road. I often do this when I am excited about partaking in something. It's a negotiation process. How can we negotiate and still make it a win-win situation for everyone involved? See, the worst thing that I believe people can do is to give a reluctant yes, and then you're not in it. And everybody feels that energy that you're not in it to help create a win-win situation. So before you give the quick yes, just back off and check your calendar. And that doesn't look like working extra hours. What are your boundaries around the hours that you are going to actually be in place? See, when we work from home, and I work from home, and I'm not sure how many people who are attending work from home, but it's very easy when you have a home office to always be working, to always be on. I'm just going to check one more thing. I'm just going to answer that text. I'm just going to answer that email. And then we find ourselves 2 and 3 hours later, still involved in something that doesn't serve anyone. One of the biggest things that I've often taught people, especially with emails and autoresponders, that shows that you're still a team player, is that to have on your autoresponder that when somebody sends an email, it can automatically respond that you answer emails at maybe 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. or whenever it is at the beginning and the end of your day. Because too many people are responding constantly, and then you wonder why it may be eating up your day. So if you're not the right fit for something, one of the number 3 that you can do is suggest another person, suggest a team member, right? But don't throw people under the bus. If you know that they're just as busy as you, don't do that to someone else that forces them to now have to say no. But there are so many times where we know of people who may be looking for a project, or maybe looking to sit on a board, or looking for volunteer opportunities, or looking for something else to do to be a team player. Suggest those people. Let those people know. Maybe even ask them before you give their name. Hey, Colleen is looking for, somebody to help her with this project. Are you interested? Be strong and bold enough that if it's really truly not for you, then you just say no. However, if you do know people that are looking, then go ahead and suggest those people to that team member. Number 4, something to easily say, I already would, and I have a prior commitment. Don't say but, because but kind of negates it. I would love to help you. I'm honored that you asked me, and I have a prior commitment. And sometimes when we take a look at our calendar, maybe that prior commitment might be something that's important to you. See, when we want to be helping, again, that reluctant yes doesn't support anyone. If it's some type of commitment for you, maybe it's a self-care act, maybe it's something that you've been looking forward to doing, stay strong and stay with your, hey, I've got another commitment. See, you don't have to explain to people what that other commitment is. There is no reason to have to ever justify a no. No, really, truly is a complete sentence. However, sometimes in a team environment, or sometimes when you're working with other people, you don't want to see it as rude. So you go right away to justifying. These are ways that you can maybe, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a little bit more of tact, or maybe it's a little bit easier on the ears when you're saying no. Here's a big one, and I've already talked about this. I am not able to give my best to this right now. I am not able to give my best to this right now. That's number 5, if you're taking any kind of notes. Because really, quite honestly, we always want to give, a lot of when we're giving our time, we want to make that time valuable. And so when you're giving your best to something, it will always be met with respect. If you're telling people, hey, listen, I'm not able to give 100%. People understand that. People want all of you dedicated to the project. They don't only just want part of you. So the other thing, number 6, to really take a look at is, are you the right person for the job? See, it boosts our ego a little bit when somebody sees something in us to say, hey, would you like to participate in this? Hey, would you like to be part of this team project? Yet we deep down know that maybe we're not the best person for that. And again, it's the simple, hey, let me suggest to you someone else that may be a better fit, right? No one wants you to take on a quality job if you're not qualified to doing it. Here's a great quote that I love. Don't feel bad about saying no to things you know you'd make a mess of. Don't feel bad about saying no to things you know you'd make a mess of. Listen, we know, I know where my talents lie, right? I am very clear. And so to ask me to do something else is not in my wheelhouse. It's why? That's why I've surrounded myself with a team of amazing people, so that if it's not in my wheelhouse, I have other people that I can refer to. See, there's enough business, especially if you're an entrepreneur, to go around for all of us. Stay in your lane. Figure out what it is that makes your heart sing. If anybody has ever done any work around the zone of genius, the zone of genius means that you could be doing something 24/7. You love it that much. Now, I'm here to tell you, It's not always about doing it 24/7, even though you could, because you have to have some me time, right? But 24/7 and you're getting paid to do it. You're getting paid to do it. What do you love to do? If you haven't picked up, one of the things that I love to do is I love to get paid to talk. Like that is one of my favorite things that I get most excited about. That if you give me an opportunity to speak or to be on a summit or to do anything around public speaking, I will always be a yes. I will always be a yes if it fits comfortably in my schedule, right? Because again, it doesn't serve me if I'm saying yes to everything and then I'm overworked, overwhelmed, and stressed out, and then I'm not delivering 100%. Here's something that you can also do as well. Number 7 is ask people to send you a summary of exactly what they want you to do, because here's the thing, like a lot of times we don't have all the information before we're saying yes or no. So get those details, ask for what you need to help you to make the best decision for you. You're not going to always have it 100% of the time completely, but make sure that you have the information and make sure that somebody's not trying to pass the buck to you. Like maybe they weren't competent for it and now they're trying to pass it off on you. Like just knowing what is going to be, God, I just lost my train of thought. Of expected of you, like, right? Like expected of you so that you know, like where you are headed. So another thing that you can do, number 8, is maybe you're not able to help with the whole project, but maybe you're able to help with a certain part of the project because that's in your wheelhouse. So if there is something, I actually am certified in a program called the Working Genius, if anybody's ever heard of it. And the Working Genius is about productivity, like how people love to do parts of their job, and there's other parts that they find their frustration. So if you're finding things like are your frustration, then that's not your wheelhouse. But maybe there's a part of a project that you know you would be very effective at, and you can just ask if it's possible for you to do that component of the project. Finally, one of the things that you can do is like if all else has failed, just tell people, hey, listen, just use me as a last resort. Like if there really truly is no one else and you've really asked everybody else, and then I can maybe play a small role. Again, like just say, hey, can you use me maybe as a last resort? If all of these fail and like you are still struggling, again, no. No is a complete sentence. And I just want to leave you with that thought, because for so many of us, we get worried about how we are going to be perceived. And I'm telling you, people want a direct response. Like I tell people all the time when, I am coaching them, you are not paying me for fluff. You are paying me to give you the direct response of what you need to hear. And sometimes no is the kindest, best way that we can serve other people when we're part of a team, but more importantly, how we can serve ourselves. So on that note, I kept it short and sweet so that you can, keep everything on task. Although I should say, because like I didn't do anything fun, right? Because I'm always about the fun girl. Go ahead and, incorporate more fun into each and every day. And trust me, you can have fun saying no. All right.